What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and today we're going to be doing a scouting guide. So we're going to talk about what scouting is, why it's good, who gets it, and what to do with it. And before we get started, as always, make sure that if you enjoyed the video, you give it a thumbs up, leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and then make sure to check out the box for all the cool links like Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon, where all this cool stuff awaits for you if you decide to explore those avenues. We'll answer the basic question first, and that is, what is scouting? Scouting is an event that happens once you enter a room and the battle is over, if there was a room battle. The game checks behind the scenes. It rolls dice for you to see if you scouted successfully, and if you did, it will scout one room in every direction. Once you have made a successful scout, the game checks again to see if you got a critical scout. This is a 50-50 chance, and if you win this coin flip, then the game will scout two rooms in each direction instead of one. You can always see your party's basic scouting chance from the provision screen before you enter a dungeon. Your chance to scout at all times, baseline, is 25%, with additional modifiers that are possible. If you're playing in the highest level of light, which is Radiant Light, you get a bonus 15% to your scouting. If you're playing in Pitch Black, which is considered torchless, then you have no bonus to your scouting, so you're stuck at the base 25%. The reason scouting is so good is because it has several very good benefits. The first is obviously you get to scout ahead to know what's coming up. You can find traps that you would normally run over, you can find fights, and then you can find secret rooms or quest objectives, curio, or better ways to go through the dungeon if you're in something that has multiple paths. On the topic of secret rooms, in order to find a secret room, you have to scout it. You can't just walk down the hallway and press W and just hope to land in it. Secret rooms are also not guaranteed except for long missions. In a short mission, there will be no chance of a secret room. In a medium mission, there is a 50-50 chance of a secret room. And then in a long mission, there's a 100% chance of a secret room, but you have to scout it. And the only way you can scout a secret room is if you get a critical scout. So you have to get the double hallway type of scout. You can also get lucky, and then if you go to the next room, and then you double scout from there, even if you had already scouted the room behind you, a secret room can still appear if you got the critical scout. So if you do want to find a secret room, especially in a long mission, make sure you clear out all of the rooms that you can. Finding secret rooms and traps are all pretty cool things to do with scouting, but one of the other amazing benefits is that if you scout a fight, you cannot be surprised by that fight, which is why in Torchless, when you get surprised all the dang time, scouting is a very powerful tool to have. Only a few heroes in the game can actually provide your team scouting. They are Grave Robber, Houndmaster, Bounty Hunter, and to a lesser extent, Highwayman. The first three, so Grave Robber, Bounty Hunter, and Houndmaster, all have camping skills that give you bonus scouting chance. They are also the only heroes that come with scouting chance as class trinkets. So if scouting is something you want, but you don't have enough trinkets to boost your scouting up to like 75, 100%, or whatever you're trying to go for, then consider bringing some of these heroes to boost your scouting chance through their stuff. The reason Highwayman can provide some bonus scouting is because of the district, the Yellow Hand, that gives them a bit of extra scout chance, but it's really inconsequential. There are a few quirks that give you bonus scouting chance, mainly Corvid's Eye, which gives you accuracy and scouting, making it one of the best quirks in the entire game. And then you have region-specific Scrounging and Explorer quirks. Corvid's Eye gives you 8% scouting, while Scrounger gives you 5%, and then Explorer gives you 10%. Corvid's Eye is worth locking in on just about every single character in the entire game. Meanwhile, Scrounging and Explorer quirks are very nice, but they're not worth locking in. For all intents and purposes, Trinkets will be your main source of scouting, and there are quite a few that do give you scouting, and all of them are honestly fantastic. I mentioned the class trinkets before, so Bounty Hunter gets a helmet that gives you 10%, Grave Robber gets Raider's Talisman, which is an incredible trinket that gives you 15%, and then Houndmaster has two different ones. He has the Dark Whistle, I think it's called Scouting Whistle, that's 20% scouting I believe, and then you also get the Evidence of Corruption, which is another 25%. All of these trinkets are worth using if you have them, and I understand that the Scouting Whistle only operates in torchless or I guess low light settings, but if you are in those type of situations, if you're running torchless as a challenge run, or if you just find yourself under low torch constantly, then consider bringing it because all of that extra scouting does help a lot. For neutral trinkets, we have the Survival Guide, Caution Cloak, Seer's Stone, and Ancestor's Map. And then also the Corvid Bottle thing for Torchless, and that trinket is honestly fantastic as well because you get accuracy on top of scouting. All of these trinkets that I have listed are great because they give scouting. Even Caution Cloak, which gives you minus 10 speed on the first round, is still a fantastic scouting trinket. You just give it to someone that's pretty slow already, such as Crusader, or someone you don't care about going last, like maybe Vestal, and it's only for the first round, so if you get through the first round, then you're fine. I personally like Survival Guide just a bit more than Seer's Stone. The 5% scouting isn't that consequential to me, but I do greatly appreciate the extra 10% trap disarm on what is basically considered to be the mini Ancestors map. Speaking of the Ancestors map, say hello to the best scouting trinket in the entire game. This thing is absolutely nuts. It has 25% bonus scouting and bonus trap disarm at the measly cost of 10% stress. This is a trinket you can get relatively early depending on your party comps and luck. I will go ahead and say it, this is something you get from Shambler, which is a pretty difficult boss, so if you have a decent team, you can find an altar to spawn Shambler and then you can beat Shambler, you have a chance of getting the map. I would argue that the map is the best prize to get from Shambler, with the candle being a very close second. The map is such a powerful trinket that if you're able to find it early, you will probably be using it every single time you go on an expedition, and you'll be using it until the end of the game. Overall, scouting is a very powerful mechanic. Only a few heroes can boost it naturally outside of generic trinkets, so all those heroes that can, such as Grave Robber, Houndmaster, and Bounty Hunter, are worth considering for your teams. One of the common things that I have heard, and something I used to think as well, 2 years ago, back when I was making content for this game, is that why bring Bounty Hunter or Grave Robber or something like that when you have Highwayman? Well, now you have scouting. Obviously, there are a lot of other reasons that go into that, but just in case you are on that train of thinking, consider that as a jumping off point. For my personal thoughts, I think scouting is an absolutely broken mechanic. I think it's one of the 3 most busted mechanics in the game, which is a video that I'm going to be doing shortly, probably within the next few days. We'll see how the recording schedule goes, but scouting is ridiculous. It can find you a bunch of extra money, it can keep you safe, it can get you through missions quicker and safely. It's just a huge strategic edge, and it prevents one of the most garbage BS things in the game, which are traps. Traps are just one of those things that you don't really think about as being as overpowered as they are, until you play something like Torchless and you have no scouting, and suddenly those traps are hitting way harder and causing way more stress. Scouting is also the only counterplay to traps, which is something I have a very big issue with, so I'm hoping that in the next game, if traps do exist in some form, I hope scouting is either reworked or traps are easier to deal with so you don't actually need scouting for them. Alright y'all, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. So as I alluded to before, one of the upcoming videos is going to be the 3 most broken mechanics in the game. And then another video I'm pretty excited about, which is one explaining the hidden statistics or mechanics in Darkest Dungeon. So something like, what is scouting chance, or I should say, how can you scout secret rooms, what are critical scouts? That's an example of that type of thing. But there are a lot of stuff that goes into it that I get questions on constantly, such as, what do you mean by hit cap? There's a heal cap, what? Virtue Affliction chance, stress healing out of town, secret room spawns, which we talked about in this one, penalties for low-level heroes, crit values, how crits are rolled, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I'm still adding to the list. So if these types of videos are stuff you're interested in, let me know down below. I guess you probably are interested since you already watched my stuff, but that's neither here nor there. So I do want to say thank you so much as always. Check out all the links and stuff, and I'm going to stop rambling. So for this video, I guess that's it, and I'm going to shut the heck up. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.